or say I'd rather go to a startup.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm going to go make my fortune, startup, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I worked at exclusively startups from before coming to Amazon. And so I've been on both sides of this line. What would you say about the start your career at Amazon versus start at a startup?
I think there's two schools of thought there. You have students that want to start at a quote unquote larger big tech company. You have students that I want something smaller. I think I'm going to be set up for success. One of the things I tell students, especially when they're contemplating multiple offers, especially when it's like not necessarily Amazon to a like sized company,
Right.
but a startup
There are
is.
very few like-sized companies.
Yeah. One of the things I say is we are like think of us as a company of very small startups that happen to be a big company. And so I point to programs such as Prime Air. I point to programs that Ethan helped build. Prime Video wasn't called Prime Video back then, or is it still called Prime Video? Back then it was
It's still Prime
Video.
Video.
It's
Back
Prime
then it
Video.
was Amazon Video. It had many
It
names.
had many names, but back when you were part of that, one could argue that it was a very startup culture. And so all these announcements that Amazon makes, like these teams are very small development teams. And so think of Amazon as a well-funded startup, but and really that's the advice I give students that may feel like I am just a number. Like, no, even though there's thousands, tens of thousands of Amazon employees, you really know like your team. We often refer to two pizza teams. I'll let Ethan talk
Yeah,
about that.
I
Yeah.
assumed you'd get to two pizza teams.
But no, it's the environment, and if it's the smaller collaborative environment that you're looking for, then Amazon absolutely has that. That's just instilled in our culture and how we and our development teams. And I'll let Ethan talk about two pizza teams.
Yeah. Well, two pizza team is just Jeff Bezos' idea that no team should be larger than can be fed by two pizzas. And so we try to get all projects down to where they can be done by 8 or 10 people, or maybe 6 people if they're really hungry. And so that's what you're looking for. And you on that team, you're gonna not be a number. So no, projects are not done solo, but that's a really hungry person. Duke of Thought, when you were on screen, you did not look like you eat two pizzas all by yourself. But anyway, the point is, we try to get teams down to that size. That said, look, I think of startups versus big company as risk reward. Everyone, all the startups I went to struggled. They ended up struggling. And by the way, I thought I was going to be a gajillionaire several times over in my 30s, and none of it happened. And my startups did okay in hindsight. The point is, startups, you learn how to be broad and put on a lot of hats. Amazon, you learn how to be deep and to really drive something to shipment. And so I think it's a trade off, and I think both are good opportunities.